So I started writing the book back in 2017, and I would periodically, I would have a thought, and I'd pull up this Word document and I'd write a little bit. And then it occurred to me what I needed to do was write an outline. And so that's what I did. I wrote an outline a couple of years ago and just said, okay, how do I want this to flow?
Hey everyone, Melanie Johnson here, co-founder and owner of Elite Online Publishing, where we make our authors #1 bestsellers. And today we have an author of Humble Influence, Jim Matuga, and he's going to tell us his journey of how he wrote his book and how he's been doing it. Hey Jim, thanks for joining us today.
Melanie, it's great to be here with you. Thanks for having me.
All right, so tell us why you wrote Humble Influence. And you told me in the back room, like it wasn't just a short of why you did this. So tell us why you wrote it and how it came about.
Yes, on my leadership journey, when I was a young person working in the professional world, I was struggling to find resources to equip myself to be a great follower. I was in a middle management position, reporting to a leader who was he was a great, had no idea of what was actually important for me to do and how can I equip myself. There wasn't a lot out there. And so back in 2000, I started the journey of writing this book. I was at a conference. Maybe I can, it was a lot harder than I thought. And so over the last 18 years, I've been working diligent, just interviewing people. I have a podcast myself, and I talk with leaders over the last 38 years of my career. I've seen a lot of things, and I was able to take those and some things that some even biblical wisdom and historical wisdom on how to be a great follower, and just meld that into my book. I wrote a manuscript, and then here we are.
So it sounds like it took a long time to get here. What was your process? Go through, because so many people are like you that they're like, I've been working on my book, put it away. So tell journey writing it. What did you do?
Exactly. I could back up. I self-published 2 marketing books prior to this. Amazon Kindle. That was pretty easy. Writing a marketing book was pretty good because that's what I do for a living and have for the last 38 years. They didn't really sell too many copies, but I used them as gifts. I would meet some calling cards. And it was neat to have. But this book was different. I thought that had value through the wisdom that I learned and gained. So I started writing the book back in 2017, and I would periodically, I would have a thought and I'd pull up this Word document and I'd write a little bit. And then it occurred to me what I needed to do was write an outline. And so that's what I did. I wrote an outline a couple of years ago and just said, okay, how do I want this to flow? And then just started slowly but surely adding little anecdotes and stories. I'm a storyteller and would pick up little anecdotes of businesses out there that were doing something that caught my eye. And I would just keep this ongoing record of humble influence, how I have an impact. Then I also simultaneously started learning that there was evidence, I think, necessary to be a great follower. Things like humility and able to serve without needing the spotlight, curiosity, asking questions, exploring other people's perspectives, things like courage to dissent with the leader, but doing it in respect. Funny thing about that, I like to talk about, to be able to speak up. Right? Even if it's in a meeting, but do it in a respectful way. Many times have we all in meetings after a project or an initiative has failed and somebody says, I could have told you that wasn't going to work. Have the courage to do it. That's a great trait of a follower, is be able to speak up and say, hey, listen, I teach how to have courage in a respectful way.
In a respectful way. It's almost like it was like an onion, right? Like you kept peeling back and finding more information to add to the book. So you've self-published now, or did you use a publisher for this last one?
Yeah, the last one was a hybrid model. Yep.
Oh, so walk us through you publishing your own books. Was it difficult? Did you just do it on Amazon? Did you do it on Amazon? Are like the differences you experienced between doing it yourself and having a publisher alongside you?
The book was called Rocket Fuel, and it was a book published for marketing for therapists. I actually co-wrote it with one of my clients. He said, hey, Jim, we've been doing all this marketing for my physical therapy practice. We should write a book on this and get it out there to people and show that we've been successful in marketing my physical therapy. So and that was interesting because I don't really have to write a book, but I've got an idea. So we hired a fellow who was a writer here in our town of Morgantown, West Virginia. His name was Trey Dunn. And we said, Trey, would you come in and interview Kincaid with client at the time? And I said, would you come in and interview Lincoln and I every Friday for 15 weeks? And then take everything that you we talk and record. You're recording these conversations. Take that and that a chapter. So have this 15 chapter book. Again, we had an outline. He said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, that sounds like fun." So we did that. In 15 weeks, we had a book. It's pretty cool. And that was really interesting because we just had conversations, and he would take our words and ghostwrite it into a
Yeah.
package. Book was called Marketing Matters, and that was both of these were just on Amazon, not just Amazon. It was cool. A marketing agency. So I have graphic designers and people that are editors, so they were able to do the editing and all the packaging for me, set up the Amazon pages,
Yeah.
design the covers and all that. But the second book was a compilation of articles that I had written over a 2-year period for a statewide business publication. And it was all on marketing. I was writing something like a 900 to 1,000 word column, and I took all that content that I had written and packaged it into a book. And that was a lot of fun too. So it was a repackaging of things that I've already written, but making it beautiful and making it humble influence was a completely different process there.
Yeah. And you know what? I love what you did is what we teach all the time. So many people are more talkers than they are writers. So it's easy to get the content. And then in today's world, I even say, hey, if you're doing a podcast, you could do a podcast series, make the podcast series first, even with the outline, and then take the transcript and turn it into your book. Or if you have blog posts, turn that into a book. There's the minimalists who took all their blogs, curated them into a book, and then it became a movie even. So
Oh
you
my
just never
goodness.
know.
It's great. Yeah, I love that.
And then you're just taking different things, and it's a different context. Your articles, one audience is getting, but when you put it all in one place and curate it in one place and use the power of the book, it gives you a different credibility of what you're doing from
Yeah.
that. Tell us, how have the books helped you? Have you gotten business from using the books?
Yes, absolutely. I love the word that you just used, credibility, because I think that
Yeah.
it just puts you on a different playing field, maybe. And maybe that's the right word. Yeah, it's been matters rocket fuel. They more credit builders. Humble
Mhm.
influence, definitely getting business. It's really fascinating because it's more of a universalist book, like a lead topic, and I'm not talking specifically about marketing, but what
Right.
its effect is doing. And I didn't know this was going to happen. The credibility of I understand business, I understand people, I understand connections with people, how to add value to organizations. And that's what I do. Speaking engagements, I didn't think I'm going to be asked to speak. And I've been getting
Wow.
invitations. The book, June, it's just really cool. And I will say, Melanie, it gives me an opportunity to come on podcasts like your great show and just talk about the process. And
Yeah.
so sharing what I've learned, and I hope encouraging to people that even somebody like myself can write a book and have impact with people.
Yeah, it does. I tell people it's like you get a title all of a sudden. Now you're introduced as an author or a best-selling author or
Yeah.
award-winning best-selling author. One can take that away from you. Even if you look at old school media, when they have people who come on as experts, almost all of them, 99% of them are authors
Yeah.
that they're bringing on from there. And it just says that you took the time to put all that information together in one place. And I love what you're saying is each book has opened doors for you in a different way.
Yes.
So even though like you're having this conversation with Humble Influence, they're seeing your expertise and they still could turn into clients. You're getting opportunities not just to talk about the book, but your business and all of. Do you think like
Exactly.
if you had to put a number on it, would you say, what do you think?
I don't know that I can answer on top of my head, but it has opened lots of doors.
Yeah,
And I think even from I think, I've been in business. We just started our 15th year as a marketing agent. And, it's just, I'm able to flash in terms of content. I put a lot of even from a marketing perspective, but not just my personal brand, not just for Humble Influence, but for my agency, Interaction Media.
right.
I'm able to take this interview that we're having, and I will be able to create probably 75 to 100 pieces of content that'll be out there. That's
That's what that's huge,
that's
right?
amazing.
From the
Yeah, it's
podcast.
huge. Yeah.
And
Yep.
other thing I tell people is once you have a book, like once you've done it, you also now you have thousands of pieces of content. Like I could give you our new book, Be Recognized, and say, go with this. Tell me what videos to make out of this, take quotes out of this, make blog posts out of it, make articles out of it. Suddenly you have thousands of pieces and all once. I said, if I think it's an advertiser's dream, advertising agency's dream, if someone comes with the book, because then all of a sudden you have a whole starting point. I always love when we interview people with books. Like at my next interview, they don't have a book. So I'm digging more for more information and things to ask them versus the book. So let me give you a couple tips since you have 3 books. I only found the one. But
Yes.
what you need to do is, and since you're self-published, I think the hybrid might be able to do this as well. There's a thing called an Amazon author page, right? So you want to connect all of your books to the Amazon author page. And what that does is you put your bio there, all your books go there. So when someone is searching you, like right now, your Amazon book will come up, but a whole separate SEO link will come up to your author page. And all your
Amazing.
books will be there. They can click and buy each book if they want. Matter of fact, even like on your website, you could send them to the author page versus the book buying page. And then they can choose what book. Because right now they're not connected. So we don't
Mm,
know which books that you have.
I love
The
that.
other
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's a really big one. And then you can also do a profile on Goodreads as well. So it's just giving you more of that SEO power and it's free, right? So why that?
Heck yeah.
The other thing I think would be great for, especially with when you have an ad agency, you can go in the back end and do something called content. I think I might be able to share my screen here just so I can show you. Let me go in here and see if happened here. But what it does is it gives you graphics and it shows up on a phone really well on mobile and people can
Yeah.
get more information about your book with how to let me get to this and what it looks like. All right, let me see if I can go share my screen, which I'm not an expert at sharing my screen here. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's see. Start sheet. There we go. Okay. So this is, but see how it's the book at the top and then you scroll down and it looks really great.
I love it.
It's
Yeah.
like I've got the editorial reviews, and you can put any type of content that you want there. So I would that,
I love
and
that.
I'll show you. So see, this is the author page here. So your
Mhm.
icon shows up, and people can follow you there. So if you have new stuff or a new book, then you can see the full bio, and then we have some tricks that we add like links in here.
Mm, that's awesome.
So I would say that is the biggest thing for you. There's not
Yeah,
a oh
that's
here we go.
great.
Stop
That's great
sharing.
advice. Very wise.
Yeah. So let's get you to do that. Your team could probably get in there into your KDP account and then add that in there. And that'll help book sales. And also, you can use it in so many different ways.
That's great. You know, what's interesting that you're saying about all this, Melanie, is one thing that I've learned is books don't sell themselves. Authors sell their book. It's a journey. I love what you're doing, and thanks for you've given me three powerful tips right there that I'm gonna go do. Tips. I appreciate.
Good. And it's like anything, it's when you have a book, it's two things. It's a product that you're selling, so you need to advertise it and promote it. Just like that's your business. Okay, how are we going to advertise and promote if we're just going to sell this product?
Mm,
But the more powerful way to use it are what are the strategies to get us more clients and people in the door?
yes.
So one of the things now with our new book that we're going to do, and you can easily do with any of your books, if you have people you're trying to get your foot in the door with, is
Mhm.
send them the book, mail
Yeah.
them the book. You can either send it right from Amazon, but you can send it also with a personal note to somebody.
Yeah.
So we always say they don't throw that out, right? When
Mm,
someone gets a book, they're either going to give it to someone, they're going to thumb through it, their desk.
mm.
That's a powerful way to utilize a book as an as a marketing.
I love it. That's fantastic. I haven't really thought about that. As soon as you said that, I have a business development manager. His name is Hart. I'm gonna absolutely share that. It's a wonderful idea because if he's having a hard time break, that could be something that opens the door.
Yeah, send the book. And then they know about you. All of a sudden, they feel like they have a relationship with you
Yeah.
instead of it just, and literally to send a book with shipping and everything is like $7.50 book.
Yeah. Yep. That's great. But
If you can get a $10,000, $100,000 client for $7.50, darn cool.
no doubt. Love that. Thank you.
Yeah. And then the other strategy you can do in this part is do, especially with humble influence, because that's more, it's a, like you say, it's a speaking engagement type of companies. I would send or offer if you're speaking to one of these companies, whether they want to pay you or not, you can to say, hey, I'll offer you either a discount on the paperback, be them wholesale. You can say, if you would like a team to have a book, you
Mm,
can do it where they can have physical books, but a lot of people aren't thinking about the digital book and or the audiobook that you can give somebody down the MP3, some X amount of money, and that costs you almost nothing. You can give downloads of the digital book. We like to do what's called a flip book because in a flip book, think about this, Jim, you're speaking somewhere, they don't tell you all the people's contact information when you're speaking to a group, whether it's local. But
mm.
if you offer them the ebook for free, right? The little digital copy, then they have to opt in to get it. And now you've captured all their contact information. They can be part of your newsletter or whatever, and hopefully a
Yeah.
future client of yours.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah, because people get wrapped up into, why would I give my book to 50 people when I can maybe sell my book? And I'm like, yeah, you're maybe going to make $150. If you hit it, all of a sudden you've grown your email list
Mm,
by whatever amount of people, 100 people that could turn into a client.
absolutely. I love that. It's great.
So those are my for today. And tell people where they can meet, get a hold of them.
Humbleinfluencebook.com is the book site, and there's a little video on there that you can watch and just can get a sense of communicate with me. My email's on there, or my company is Interaction Media, INNERACTIONMEDIA.com.
He's an awesome marketer. Connect him and see if he'd be a good fit for you. Thanks for being on today, Jim. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
I appreciate you very much.
If you want to write a book and become a best-selling author, you're in the right place. At Elite Online Publishing, we can help you create, publish, and market your book so that it becomes a #1 bestseller. We work with a limited number of authors to ensure that they receive the best possible service. So if you want to learn how to write and publish a book that will empower you to smartly grow your brand, business, and credibility, apply today. We look forward to working with you.